Hi, my name is Caela, and today I'm going to be teaching a beginner vinyasa yoga class. And before I start, I just wanted to say thank you to my mentor Jai, because he was always positive with all of my homework, even when I thought I turned in really bad assignments. And everyone at Bhakti, because I had such an amazing experience studying yoga through it. It really changed my life. And most of all, I want to thank my sister Sarah, because without her, I wouldn't be able to do this training. And I wanted to talk a little bit about something that happened to me on Sunday that really struck my heart. And I went out to take my dogs outside, and I was on my balcony with the dogs, Lenny and Jack. And the church behind my house was doing a church service right on my lawn. And I got to hear a really wise pastor talk. And her sermon was about how to handle life when life happens. And she spoke about things going on in the world, in our local community in Michigan, and in families, and also just in ourselves, and the things we deal with on a personal level, and how much uncertainty and anxiety there is for people. And the question asked was, how do we cope with life when life happens? And her answer was living in the present moment, living day by day. And if I got anything out of this yoga class, I feel like it was to learn to stay grounded in the storms of life. That no matter what's happening, you can keep going back to the practice that you have and learning to stay centered and balanced. And I feel like the way yoga does that is by connecting everything through the breath in every pose you move through. And the breath gets us out of our heads and into our bodies. And so I'm going to start with just simple breathing to bring us into the present. And so to start, get yourself comfortable, sit in a cross-legged position, or you can take the bottoms of your feet and bring them together, whatever is more comfortable, and then spread out your sit bones. And just to let you feel very relaxed, and you can take your palms and put them right on your knees. And as you do that, shut the mouth, close the eyes, and inhale through your nose, and exhale through your nose. And as you do this, as you inhale, your gut should go out like a balloon inflating. And as you exhale, it should go in towards the spine. And then every breath, you can start to lengthen it a little bit longer. And so for now, put away the to-do list in your mind of everything you have to accomplish. And for now, put away all the problems that you've had in your mind since you woke up that you need to deal with. When we leave class, they'll all be there waiting for you. But for now, just breathe. And then 5 more breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. When you've gotten your breaths in, you can start to rotate the neck a little bit while you soften the shoulders back. Oh, one direction. Just feel the shoulders go down and draw back towards the spine. And the other side. And keep breathing. Take a couple more breaths. And then the same for the hips. This also is great for loosening up the spine too. And opposite way. And we're going to come on to all fours on the mat. And you want to have your palms underneath your shoulders. And spread out. And feeling as though you're pushing against the mat so that you're really using your arms to give you balance. And we're going to do a few cat and cow poses. So on the inhale, going into cow, arch the back, draw the shoulders back, and inhale, look up. Exhale, round the spine, drop the neck and the crown of the head so they're heavy. And inhale, back into cow. We're really feeling the stretch in the spine again and the neck. And exhale, back into cat. Let's do a few more of these. And then when you're ready, come onto your back and you can hug your knees right up to your chest. Point the toes up. Make sure the tailbone is on the ground as well as your shoulders. And press down through the shoulders. Really opens up the heart. And breathe. And then slowly coming back up. We're going to do some sun salutations. And come up to the top of the mat. And then you're going to stand hip width apart. You're going to open up your feet so that they're even on all four corners. And again, pressing into the mat as much as possible. Grounding, and then from the hips up, feeling the stretch rising. So with palms facing forward, we're going to inhale and do a couple rounds of sun salutes. Inhale, bring the arms up, look up, shoulders softening away from the ears. Exhale, Fold down, bend the knees if you need to get more of a stretch through the spine. Tailbone up, palms on the ground. Drop the head and neck so the crown of the head is very heavy. Exhaling. And then on the inhale, flat back, shoulders back. Exhale, right foot to the back edge of the mat, soften the knee to the ground. Inhale, slight back bend, shoulders back. Exhale, palms down, framing the left foot. And then bring the left foot back to meet the right into the top of a push-up. Make sure the palms are underneath the shoulders. And use your core strength to stay here. On the next exhale, drop the knees to the mat. Lower your chest to the mat. Tuck the elbows in. Draw the shoulders back. And inhale while looking up. Make sure the shoulders are moving towards the spine. The shoulders stay tucked, not flayed out to the side. And breathe here for a couple breaths. And exhale. I'm going to push the tailbone up to the sky. Make sure the feet are planted firmly. If you can, touch your heels down to the floor, but if you can't, it's perfectly fine to stay on the tips of your toes. And also bend your knees. The important thing is to push the tailbone up. Make sure the head, the ears on the head are close to the arms. And your head isn't dropped towards the floor or up above. That can cause a neck injury. And then on the exhale, you want to walk your feet back up to your palms. Again, into a forward fold, bending the knees, letting the head drop. Inhale, look up and back into mountain pose. Now we're going to do the other side a little bit faster now that we have the basics down. So inhale, look up. Exhale, fold all the way down, head towards the knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot back. Drop the knee to the mat. Inhale, look up. And exhale. Exhale, draw the right leg back. Top of a push-up into plank pose. Exhale, drop the knees to the mat. Then the chest, tuck the elbows. Inhale, look up. Exhale into downward facing dog. And then come back up to a forward fold. Inhale, look up, and back to standing pose. Okay. Take a couple breaths here. And inhale, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right leg back, knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms down. Take the left foot back into top of a push-up. Knees down, chest down, elbows tucked into cobra. Exhale into downward dog, tailbone up. Really lengthening the spine as you breathe in this pose. And then on the next inhale, kick that right leg back as far as you can go comfortably. And on the exhale, bring that foot up to your hands and drop the back heel down. And sometimes it's nice to actually bring your back foot a little bit closer to your right, depending on how much flexibility you feel in your hips. Make sure the hips and shoulders are squaring the short edge of the mat, so looking in front of you. And on the inhale, bring your arms up into warrior one. And in this pose, you want to make sure that your knee is right over your ankle, so you really get the stretch to the hips. And breathe. We'll do 5 breaths here. And on the exhale, widen your stance just a little bit. And back leg at a 45-degree angle. Your hips and shoulders squaring the long edge of the mat. And then bring your arms out in opposite direction, looking over your right palm, making sure that this knee isn't caving in, but is directly over the ankle and pressing outward so that you get maximum stretch in your hips. And breathe. And on the next exhale, windmill your hands down into a forward fold. Exhale, come up and bring your arms back into prayer position. So top of the mat again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, left leg back. Drop the left knee onto the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bring the palms down to frame the right foot. Bring your right foot left back to meet your left. Top of a push-up into plank pose. Now when you're on the exhale, drop the knees. Bring the chest to the floor. And look up into cobra. Exhale, back into downward dog. Next inhale, kick that left foot up in the air as high as you can. And then bring it right up to your hands. And then we want to drop the left heel back. We can shorten the stance up too, which I like to do because I don't have quite so much flexibility in my hips. And now inhale, look up into warrior one. And exhale, you're going to see back side of this pose, widen your stance. Back foot at a 45-degree angle. And look over the left palm. And breathe. And then windmill down into forward fold. Inhale, look up. And back into mountain pose. We can take a few breaths here now that we've gotten the body nice and warmed up to do a couple more balancing and standing postures. So from here we're going to go into chair pose with our feet together. In this pose we're going to want to start to bend our knees down, but not so much that we can't see our toes. So we always want to be able to look down and see the toes. We want to make sure that our palms are pressed against each other, shoulders are back, and we're really getting the length in the entire part of the spine and upper back while building strength. Breathe. come back up. Now we're going to focus on another balancing posture. And this one is one of my favorites. I'm actually going to turn to see you. And from here, we're going to plant the right foot and put the weight on it. And then kick start the left leg into the right ankle. And then we're going to bring our palms up at our chest, pressing against each other. There's a couple things going on in this pose that looks very simple, but is actually very active. So our right foot is firmly planted evenly, and then we're pushing off of the mat with our right foot. We're opening up the left knee and the left hip. And we're taking this leg and pushing it against the ankle, and the ankle against the leg. And we're also pushing our palms together. And then from the hips upward, we're rising. And it really changes the way the whole posture feels. And breathe. And then bring the left foot down. We're going to do the other side. So kick start the right leg into the left ankle. Really grounding into the left foot. Pushing the ankle and foot against each other. And pushing the palms against each other for stability. And really making sure the hips and shoulders are in one line and facing forward. And breathe. And come out of the pose. In this one, we can spread our feet about 1.5 to 2 feet apart. And then we're going to do a forward fold. Start to stretch open the hips. So, bend down, palms on the floor if you can do it. If that's a little bit too much for you, you can stick them on your shin or even on your thighs. I like to do the palms. I feel more of a deeper stretch all the way through. And then let the neck and the head become heavy. You're really pushing through the legs. It's very active. While the neck and head get to hang and chill out. Really loosening the spine. And then take your palm right in the middle. Press down. Inhale, look up. Left arm towards the sky. And exhale, bring the palm down. Inhale for the other side, look up. Really pushing down into the left palm and lengthening into the right palm. And exhale, bring it down. And here we can stay in this pose, really getting the hips to open for a few breaths. And from here, we're going to do one of my favorites called Malasana, which is a yogi squat. And just going to turn the heels in a little bit towards the hips until we're down towards the ground. We're going to take our elbows and push them into our knees and take the palms and push them against each other. So this is a pretty effective hip opener. And breathe. When you're ready, come out of this pose. Sit on the mat. Rotate your feet to the opposite side. Lay on your back and tuck your knees. Just for a breather. Come back up. We're going to do child's pose. So stick your bum on your ankles and then reach your arms out far. Feeling all the good work you did doing all those standing poses. Come back up. And now we're going to get on our backs and go into a modified pigeon. And this one is one of my favorites because I love passive poses. So take your right foot and bring it towards your bum. And plant that foot down, and then take your left ankle and put it over your right knee. And here you want to make sure that your hips aren't going to the left or the right, but staying flat on the ground, and that you're giving a little bit of a nudge of your left knee to open up just a little bit more. So on every inhale, you can really widen the hips a little bit more. And breathe. Exhale, bring the left foot down. We're going to do the opposite side. Bring the right ankle up to the left knee. Same thing, make sure the hips are firmly on the ground. And breathe into this pose so you can get more opening in the hips. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. On the next exhale, bring the right foot down. We're going to go into bridge pose. So we're going to make sure our shoulders are down away from our ears, firmly on the ground, and make sure that our left and right arm are by our sides, pressing into the mat. And we're going to use that to stabilize this pose. So, next breath, come up, pushing into the upper back, drawing the shoulders back, making sure that the thighs, instead of splaying out or in, are just close enough parallel to each other, they're neighbors. And really make sure the lower back isn't collapsing, but really pushing up as much as you can to build strength there. And stay here for 5 breaths. And come down. Here you can take a couple of breaths and rest. And then the next pose is going to be an inversion, so shoulder stand. And this one, we're kind of going to bring the knees to the chest. And you can rock a little bit so you can get yourself ready for the pose. And then what we're going to do is roll up so that our feet are pointed towards the sky. And then we're going to use our hands to hold onto our hips to cradle them. And really push into the forearms for stability. So exhale, roll up, get the feet pointed towards the sky. Really get the upper arms into the mat. And really pushing our weight into the hands. And breathe. Come down. Let your legs spread all the way out. And then come back up. And here we're going to do seated forward fold. And this one, let your sit bones spread out. Get comfortable. And if you need to, you can bend the knees a little bit. And wherever you can touch is fine. If you can only touch at your knees, if you can only touch at your shins, that's fine. If you can, go a little bit more. But on every inhale, you want to just, every inhale and exhale, you want to go a little bit deeper. So inhale, lengthen. Oops, excuse me. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, lengthen. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, lengthen. Bring your head down to meet the knees. Grab onto your feet if that's comfortable. And breathe. And slowly come back up. You can lay back down. Bring the knees up to the chest. This one is going to be a nice twist for the spine. But on the inhale, roll to the right, keeping the left shoulder on the ground. And then you can take your head and look to the left side. Again, every inhale, stretch. Every exhale, really feel that spine lengthening with each breath. The next inhale, bring the legs back up to center. Shake out the hips a little bit. Exhale. Lay over to the opposite side. Right arm out. Looking towards your right arm with your head. And feeling the stretch in the opposite side of the spine. And we'll take some more breaths here. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your back, knees up. And then we're going to spread out our legs toward the end of the mat, about hip width apart. And let the palms be facing upward. Melt like butter onto the floor. Feel like this is a crime scene and you're dead. Let the shoulders relax. Hold them away from the ears. Let every limb in your body start to soften. As you take deep, slow breaths. Let your gut become heavy, sinking into the mat. Let your chest become heavy and soften. With every breath, you're becoming more relaxed. Let your face soften. Feel the throat and the jaws follow suit. All the tension we hold in our throats and in our jaws, feel that melting away. You don't need it anymore. And let it all go. Feel the right foot just get even more relaxed. then feel the whole leg soften all the way from the foot up to the hip. The right hip sink into the mat. Doesn't need to be doing anything right now. From the hip all the way up to the crown of the head. Let everything melt to the floor. Every breath, feeling into every tension we may have been holding on to, that we squeezed out during yoga. We don't need it anymore. And now into the left foot. Feel that foot grow heavy. Let it sink into the mat. Now from the foot up to the left hip. That whole leg is heavy. No tension. Every breath you take, pulling out all the unwanted aching, pain, tension. Now from the hip, all the way up to the crown of the head on the left side. Breathe all the tension out. Release all that is no longer needed out of the whole physical body. And when you're done, release from the emotional body. All that we don't need to carry right now. And then release everything from the mental body. All the negative thoughts that don't need to take up space right now. Just let them float away.
When you're ready, you can stick your elbow out and slowly and gently roll onto your side. And you can cradle your head onto your arm. Now at your own pace, you can start to come up into a sitting position. And as you come back to center, you can take the blessing that as you've opened your heart and released so much of what you no longer need, you can breathe in more peace into yourself. And now as you go about your day, you can bring that peace to others and let them see and feel that from your own countenance. Thank you for sharing this class with me.